Hello everyone, I'm Julia and I'm back on my bullshit. By the time you are watching this video, chapter 97 of JoJolion is probably already out. Just to get this out of the way, spoiler warning for the entirety of JoJolion and, well, let's be fair, all of JoJo, especially parts 5 and 7. I'm serious, if you're not caught up with JoJolion, do not watch this video. Is it stupid to script the theory video mere hours before the new chapter drops? Probably, but I look forward to seeing how goddamn wrong I was. For the past month, I was not able to stop thinking about the revelations Araki presented to us in chapter 96, Endless Calamity Part 2. The figure of the 89-year-old man is most certainly a stand. It appears in several locations at once, namely outside the police station and at the Higashikata estate, where it really just isn't doing anything at all until it turns into fucking Link from A Link Between Worlds, I guess? I was talking to Koala the other day and he pointed out that this reminded him of the German silent horror movie Nosferatu. Another thing that is extremely interesting is that Akefusatoru is allegedly 89 years old, which means that, if we decide to ignore that he's a rock human and therefore way older, he was born in 1922, the year in which Nosferatu first released. And yes, that is a SpongeBob reference.
Nosferatu!
Of course, we have no way of confirming whether Araki was referencing Nosferatu with this power move right here, or if this is just a coincidence. However, if we combine this knowledge with the fact that the rock humans are basically nerfed pillar men with stands, it leaves us with a lot of food for thought, but that's a can of worms I'm not gonna open yet. A quick disclaimer before we put on our tinfoil hats once more. I will be reaching here and there, and I will be connecting dots that probably weren't meant to be connected, so don't take this too seriously. I love reading in between the lines and speculating. It's been part of my JoJolion experience, and it's not about being right or wrong. I vividly remember saying, I think Jobin is my favorite character in JoJolion. I also hope nothing happens to Yasuho. And about 4 hours later, the raws for the chapter in which Jobin flushes Paisley Park down the fucking toilet dropped. JoJolion is pretty much unpredictable, but is that gonna stop me? I think the fuck not. So, without further ado, let's put on our tinfoil hats, consume some crack, and hack ourselves into the morioh code. The town of Morioh is full of suspicious people that are all connected in an intricate network of affiliations. After 96 chapters, we've gotten a rather good grasp on their objectives, motivations, and relationships. That network is so complicated that when I attempted illustrating it, I probably even forgot some characters. This network is like a machine, and every character is a gear that is needed to keep the machine running. Sometimes new gears are inserted that could cause all the other gears to start turning the other way around. Today I want to discuss who in the fuck controls the figure of the 89-year-old man, and for that we first have to look at what we know about the head doctor. To avoid making it any more confusing than it already is, I'm going to make a distinction between Akefusatoru, the actual person that is referred to as the head doctor of the University Hospital, and the figure of the 89-year-old man. So whenever I'm talking about the actual person, I'm going to be calling him Akefusatoru or just Satoru. And when I'm talking about the stand, I will be calling it the head doctor. But why do I make this distinction in the first place? Well, because we don't know whether the head doctor is actually Akefusatoru's stand, or if it simply uses his appearance to trick us and the characters who see it into thinking it is his stand. Furthermore, 3 of the characters we're going to look at today are most likely all stand users, but none of them have revealed their porn stash? Underwear. Stands. Cringe. It all began with the flying fish. Holly Jo Starkira is 52 years old. She's the mother of the late Yoshikage Kira and his sister Kiyo. Holly was a world-renowned ophthalmologist working at Teach University Hospital and a guest professor at Teach University until she got hospitalized. She was able to see Paisley Park when it first started manifesting, implying she's most likely a stand user. At one point in the past, Before the events of JoJolion's present, Holly created the secret Lokakaka research lab. It had happened before I knew it. When I realized what was going on, they had already snuck in. At first, I thought I'd just overworked myself. I was instructed by the hospital to take less overtime work. And somewhere along the line, the hospital gained a number of new doctors, as well as a new head doctor. It was then that Akefusatoru took up his post. As for me, my memory became intermittent, and soon I lost my sense of the passage of time. Before long, I started dropping things and sometimes found myself unable to walk. I was so lacking in self-awareness that the whole time I didn't realize what was happening to me. Yoshikage, back then you were on a ship. Holly-san, you were being administered to Rokakaka by them all this time in this hospital? Yoshikage, back then I wasn't able to tell you. Even though danger was approaching, I wasn't able to say anything to you. Even the Demokan group, who were the head doctor's subordinates, definitely did not know that they had made their way into the hospital staff. It was their clinical trial. Until those flying fish in the South Sea jumped into the cargo ship you were on and you learned about the Rokakaka and the cargo. Akefusatoru is 89 years old. He is the head doctor of Teach University Hospital and assumed to be a rock human. This means that he is probably way older than 89. Thank you, Mamizuku, for not shutting the fuck up about it. And a stand user. There are no pictures of him available on the hospital's website. However, according to the hospital's receptionist, he is a practicing physician and he even holds speeches, so he has to be a person and not just a stand, considering non-stand users could see him. Mamizuku says that he is the mastermind controlling all the rock humans. So, what does the head doctor do? According to Mamizuku Rai, the head doctor follows the concept of karmic retribution. What goes around comes around, so to say. His poor cellmate has to listen to him not shutting the fuck up about it. When said cellmate attempts stabbing Mamizuku, he ends up stabbing himself, and violently at that. The head doctor's karmic retribution feels like an absolute source of judgment, especially because the prisoner's attack wasn't even aimed at the head doctor. It's implied that the prisoner wasn't even able to see the head doctor, which should confirm that this apparition is a stand. It's a know-you kind of deal in some situations. Giovanna, is the head doctor confirmed? Alright, this is about JoJolion. Can we shut up about part 5? Thank you. Holly explains that the mere intent of pursuing the head doctor will cause bad things to come crashing into you. She tells Josuke the following. Don't go after him. The head doctor, no matter what. You must not try to get close to him. The head doctor? You know? The head doctor has no face. I've met him countless times. That's the kind of person he is. That's the kind of ability he has. If you try to approach him, only bad things will come out of it. Every form of harmful force will come crashing into you. The head doctor's true form cannot be grasped. Yoshikage, you absolutely must not chase after him. But it's okay for you to be made to chase after him. Please be careful. The irony of Holly being an eye doctor, no, I'm not going to attempt pronouncing the official term again, shut up, and her having impaired vision, as well as her saying that the head doctor's true form cannot be grasped and that he doesn't have a face, led me to doubt the reliability of her statements. However, she has been in contact with the head doctor way longer than anyone else, beside the rock humans. She obviously suffers from the rock disease. The fact that she's missing parts of her brain, as well as some other parts of her body, and her showing rock human-like hibernation behavior, though on a much smaller scale, leads me to believe that she must have been suffering for years. And yes, Holly implies that Akefusatoru and the head doctor are part of the same entity. However, I don't want to jump into that conclusion just yet. I think of these descriptions as mere interpretations the characters have made based on what they've experienced. Mitsba, for example, says the following. This is a calamity. The calamity has been continuing ever since back then, back when I got home from the hospital. This calamity is an attack on me, and those around me. My children, my husband, and the whole Higashikata family have been caught up in it. Even Josuke-kun, Yasuo-san, and those around them. The enemy is the head doctor. Whenever I see the figure of the head doctor, a disaster comes to collide into me. However, Mitspa has never expressed the intent of pursuing the head doctor. She only got hurt when she saw the figure, but those instances seemed more like she was distracted by it, rather than disasters coming to collide into her. Whether her questioning why the fuck the head doctor is just chilling on her property was enough to trigger the attacks is questionable. When the Chaos Squad first sees Akefu Satoru, or the head doctor because who the fuck knows anymore at this point, an ominous stand appears behind Josuke. It doesn't attack him, however. We see that stand a second time, namely when Josuke and Mamizuko are vibing in the Lambo tree. Based on these bits of information, it's safe to say the head doctor is a long-range automatic stand with some sort of trigger similar to Polpo's Black Sabbath or Maria's Bastet. However, these stands required a physical trigger, whereas the head doctor activates when the attacker only as much as has the intention of pursuing it. Or maybe the Rokakaka? That is rather unlikely, since Yasuho, after splitting up from Josuke and Mamizuku, only holds the intention of getting her hands on the new Rokakaka, not the head doctor. While the boys get perforated by the rain, she does not. There have been several stands with similar attack patterns in JoJolion. Born This Way, Les Feuilles, I'm a Rock, Dubiwa, and Blue Hawaii. In the case of the head doctor, there seems to be an unproportional escalation of the force the targets of the calamities get hit with. Like I mentioned before, raindrops turn into bullet-like missiles. Toru is a med student that is around 19 years old. He is Yasuo's ex-boyfriend and works part-time at Teach University Hospital. He just so happened to be introduced at the most unfortunate time for him, and let's be real, he seems rather suspicious. Then again, he runs into his ex-girlfriend near the gynecology department and she asks him to find a guy in a sailor suit and sailor hat for him. It's only natural for him to get jealous and assume she'd gotten pregnant. He's also a candidate to be the user of the head doctor. Josuke even accuses him of interfering with them on purpose. I personally think that there is something off about Toru, but I don't know what it is. Perhaps the fact that their names are somewhat similar? I mean, come on. Akefu Satoru. Toru must be the main villain. He could go both ways, really. An accomplice to the Rock Humans, or an unexpected ally, not unlike Polnareff in Ventario. If Akefu Satoru really is the head doctor's user, and the only way to defeat it is to kill Satoru, our main cast is fucked. It's a perfect balance between attack and defense. Thundercross split attack who? Until this point, I never really liked the idea of Akefu Satoru actually being the main villain of JoJolion. I preferred the idea of it being someone who'd actually been around for way longer, acting from behind the scenes, and someone Josuke could hold a personal grudge against, so it would feel satisfying to defeat them. However, Josuke actually does have a reason to want to kill Akefu Satoru. The way things are looking now, the Rock Humans have been keeping Holly as a test subject for the development of the Lokakaka 6251. In her speech, Satoru claims that they have been testing their revolutionary medicine on animals. Okay, boomer. That had been happening since before Yoshika Kira had even found out about the existence of the Rock Humans and the Rokakaka. And they would have gotten away with it hadn't it been for the flying fish. The flying fish that crashed into the man on the cargo ship that Yoshika Kira just so happened to be on, and they just so happened to uncover the Rock Human Aisho Dainenjiyama that was stowed away with the Rokakaka, and that Rock Human just so happened to have gotten injured from the commotion, so Kira could realize that thing was more than just a decorative rock. Only because of this chain of coincidences, there was even a spark of hope for Holly. And it all began with the flying fish. The flying fish sparked the morioh machine and caused all the gears to start turning. So yes, in the end I do believe the head doctor and Akefu Satoru are part of the same entity. I really can't wait to see what his motivation is. I have a suspicion that Mamizuku might know more about him than he's giving away, since he's about as annoying about Akefu Satoru's age as I am when I'm talking about Chono. Mamizuku's stand, Doggy Style, is a reference to a Snoop Dogg album. Snoop Dogg also happens to have released a song titled Head Doctor. Thinking I struck gold, I checked out the lyrics and see for yourself. Even I can't pull any connections out of my ass other than my theory of the head doctor having obtained a doctorate in sucking dick being confirmed. However, there has been another gear that has been acting in a strange way, And with that person both being a child and a victim of the rock disease, they'd never really been a suspect. Tsurugi Higashikata, currently the youngest member of the Higashikata family, has been through some shit in the 10 years he's been alive. There's one sequence of narration in chapter 83 titled The Nyurokakaka that has constantly been in the back of my mind. 13 minutes before the harvest of the Nyurokakaka, we see Hato reading the SBR magazine, Tsurugi next to her, when a tongue licks Hato's ear. It's Joshu's, who sits a few meters away acting innocent. He used his Nut King call to screw his own tongue off. While Hato threatens to sue Joshu, Daya asks Tsurugi to get Norisuke from his room as she's just prepared some tea for him. On his way to the second floor, Tsurugi accidentally steps on Joshu's tongue. As he walks up the stairs, we get this narration. Stand abilities. They are a reflection of the shape and state of one's heart. It is the power of the heart that controls it, and they are normally kept deep within the heart. Like hiding the underwear you have on, even you know about them, their existence never appears on the surface. They are implicit, and are never brought up in conversation, even among families that live together, even in front of those you love. But occasionally, there are changes in the heart. The heart, along with the stand ability, feels things like fatigue and age as time goes on. Sometimes, when one accidentally steps in the wrong place, something that one had meant to keep shut deep inside them will boil over like lava from a volcano. A stand is a form of energy. When that happens, no matter how desperately you try to stop it, you won't be able to. You won't be able to control it until it stops at its destination. Then Tsurugi uses Paper Moon King, but why? And why is Tsurugi seemingly fine after looking like Love Train Lucy not more than maybe 3 hours earlier? Why does Daya act like Norisuke is fine if she is one of the people that carried his body upstairs? Yes, I know he's allegedly still alive, but he is not in a state to drink tea, Daya. What happened in that short amount of time from when Jobin attacked Norisuke and 13 minutes before the harvest? And why is Hato reading the SBR magazine? Sure, it isn't out of character for her to be doing so, but the timing is very convenient. For me, this is a subtle hint on the Holy Corpse making a comeback. Araki hasn't forgotten about the walleyes, and it looks like another fusion is just around the corner. I hope chapter 97 will give more insight on this situation, and from what I've heard, because seemingly everyone else has already read it besides me, I've been staying patient, and Jesus Christ, my patience has been tested. But I digress. I still don't know what happens. I'm just very excited. I think I have now mentioned everything I've been wanting to say, and honestly, writing this script has been a roller coaster. I initially wanted to prove that Akefusatoru is not the Head Doctor's user, and that it actually must be Holly or Toru. The deeper I looked into this, however, the more I got convinced that it must be Akefusatoru. It's yet to be revealed whether the figure of the 89-year-old man and the stand and the staircase of the hospital and the Lambo are related in any way. My theory is that the unnamed stand is the trigger, whereas the figure is the sign of the calamities approaching. Seeing it means you, or the people around you, are in for a shit time. Much like The Rock in Vento Audio's epilogue arc, The Rolling Stones. A stand the user couldn't control. Okay, that's all the time I've got. I got to get back to playing Animal Crossing New Horizons on my Nintendo Switch. In all seriousness, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for enduring my rambling. Let me know what you think in the comments, and make sure to tag spoilers appropriately, especially now that chapter 97 is out. I'll link a video to my blind reaction to it down in the video description, so if for some reason you want to see more of me, it'd mean a lot if you check it out. For those of you who are wondering where the dub reactions are, I'm working on them, and the next one should be out in the next few days. I've been very busy, so thank you for your understanding. So again, thanks so much for watching, take care, stay safe, and stay bizarre.